I have made many fake cakes over the years and a lot of them have been on this channel, but I have never made one of these cakes before. Today we're going to be making a high tea cake, sometimes known as a Marie Antoinette cake or a Victorian sponge. These often come in pastel colors and mine today is going to be purple, and we are starting right now. What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny and I am That Props Girl, and I'm all about helping non-professional theatre makers, props designers, hobby crafters and decorators create unique props and decor. And as I said, today we're going to be making a Marie Antoinette cake, which is basically just a pastel colored tiered cake. But I'm really excited because it's been so long since I've actually made a fake cake. I made a pink cake like this a long time ago and it was actually one of the first fake cakes I ever made, and I really love that one, and this is going to be another one to add to my collection. And so if you are keen to see that, then stick around. Be sure to smash the like button if you do enjoy this video because it lets me know you want to see more content just like this, as well as consider hitting the subscribe button and bell so that you don't miss a single one of my uploads. And with all that said and done, let's jump straight into the video. This is honestly so easy, anyone could do it. And all the materials we're going to use today are some dummy cake rounds. I'm using 2, you can use as many as you like for however many tiers you like. They come in a range of sizes as well and depth. If you're using the really thin ones like I made, if you saw my fake cheesecake video, then you'll need to glue a few together. Some acrylic paint, I'm using a lilac color, some wall filler, a paintbrush, hot glue, Mod Podge, and whatever you would like to use to decorate it. I'm using some paper flowers, but there are certainly a lot of options out there. The best place that I find to look is if you go to a dollar store or something like that and have a look in their craft section. Or of course you can also go to an arts and crafts store, but you might find those are a little bit more expensive. There's also a ton of options online as well. Step number 1, we're going to glue our rounds together. Now if you're using the thin layers like I mentioned before, this will be a bit longer of a process, but basically I'm just taking some hot glue and loosely dabbing it on the back and then sticking them together. Try and center it if you can. You don't need a ton of glue, they are pretty lightweight as they're styrofoam, and if you're worried about getting it on dead center, just measure it before you start. Step number 2 is optional, but I do highly recommend this, and I mentioned this in my first fake wedding cake video, is that if the icing happens to chip, then the styrofoam layer underneath is actually painted the same color as your icing. So I'm going to go in with the lilac paint and paint that all over. As I said, this step is optional, but I do highly recommend it. I have my cake as well on a turntable, and or you can also use a Lazy Susan as well, and this just helps me to move the cake around easily. You can blue tack it down, or you can use non-slip things. I've got it on something that allows me to actually hold the bottom as well, which is just propping it up a little bit higher. This is totally optional. I did not have this for many years, and it's perfectly fine and possible to do it without this item. Step number 3, once that base paint is dry, is to make the icing. Now I've mentioned this before, depending on what time of year you're doing this, if you're doing this in winter, your wall filler may feel a bit thicker, but if you're like me and doing it in Australian summer, the wall filler may be a lot runnier. So if you're finding that your filler is a little bit thick, just add in some white acrylic paint or some pouring paint to actually thin it out a little bit, and then go in with your color of choice for icing. I'm using that lilac paint and then I'm going to add that in. But also be aware that the wall filler eats a lot of the paint, so you may need more paint than you think you do. Once that's all mixed up, then you can use a clay tool or a plastic knife or something flat to scrape that onto the cake. Now I warn you, it looks really messy when I do it, but I promise you, trust the process because it looks great in the end. But I am not a professional baker and my icing skills are subpar at best. But as I said, trust the process, and the more you do this, the more practice you'll get and the better you'll be at it. It's been a little while since I've done a fake cake. But something to remember as well is if you are struggling to hold it, you can always put a paddle pop stick or a popsicle stick in the top of it or something to hold on to it, just to give you a little bit of pressure whilst you're using your other hand to put that icing on. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to smash the like button, as it lets me know you want to see more content like this, as well as consider hitting the subscribe button and bell so that you don't miss a single one of my uploads. And let me know in the comments down below if you are going to try this yourself and what color your cake's going to be. Step number 4, it's time to decorate. Now this is where you really get free reign and creative license to do whatever you like. As I said, I'm using some paper flowers, and these ones actually have little wire stems on them, and I tend to cut them down just so it's not too long when it's going through all those layers, but long enough so it stays in there, so there's a little bit of a fine balance. But if you have a longer wire, it tends to bend and it gets a little bit difficult to pierce through that foam. But I'm using these, as I said, because I find it easier. But if you want to go in with some hot glue and some fabric flowers, you can do that as well. You can choose to copy me, or you can do your own design. It is completely up to you. But as always, I recommend that you coat the entire finished product in some Mod Podge or a sealer, just to stop the wall filler from cracking, as this does happen, unfortunately, if you have a thick layer of wall filler. So just a pro tip there, be sure to lacquer it in some way, shape or form to stop this from happening. I absolutely love how it turned out. I think it looks amazing and it's going to look great in my collection, and also any shows that I throw this into as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash the like button if you did, and consider hitting the subscribe button and bell as well so that you don't miss a single one of my uploads. These cakes are so good if you work in a bakery, or you work in theatre like I do, or you want to put them on display at home or play with your kids. There are so many options for what you can do with them, and they are so easy to make. Absolutely anybody can make them. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.